Let's go live now to Peter Switzer. He's the founder of the Switzer Report. Good to see you, Pete. Good to have you back on board for 2020. First of all, let's look at the markets. One of the biggest shocks at the moment is this coronavirus. Why is it affecting markets so much?
Yeah, I think uncertainty always hits markets, and go back to 2003, the SARS virus hit an airline like Cathay Pacific down 30%, and Hong Kong itself went into recession. So you can't expect this to be exactly the same as SARS, but the markets have no idea. So when you have no idea and uncertainty prevails, they sell off. And remember, the stock market is at all-time highs in Australia and the US. So it's the most natural reaction from the big players in the markets.
Pete, today's consumer sentiment reading, how important is that?
I think critically important. The bushfires, this is going to be a January number, and we've taken in the end of December and the early weeks of January when bushfires were terrible, they were dominating the headlines. And so the number that comes out is going to be looked at by the Reserve Bank in particular to say, well, for them to think out, do they need to cut interest rates in February or not? And I know the Reserve Bank would prefer not to cut, but if this is a bad number, and the last number we got in December was 95.1. 100 is like the in-between number between optimists and pessimists, and 95.1 is a really low number for consumer sentiment. If it's worse, I think the Reserve Bank will probably cut interest rates again, despite the fact I don't think it does all that much good anymore.
No, it doesn't seem to be doing that much. Look, this year there will be a focus early on, of course, May, as it does every year, on the budget. Josh Frydenberg was a little bit, you might say, sanguine on whether that budget surplus would actually be achieved. But Adam Crichton, others think this is probably just a bit of Costello-esque expectation management. Do you think that's what's going on here?
Look, I think that before the bushfires, Josh was playing hardball, wanting to achieve the budget surplus. I did bump into him in the airport and instantly asked him the question. It was over Christmas as well. And I said to him, these bushfires could easily tip us into recession, and because the economy is not as strong as we'd like it to be. And I said, how committed are you to the budget surplus with these bushfires? And he basically said, I will do what's needed for the economy, which is code for the budget surplus might have to take a back seat to stimulating the economy, which repair spending will do. And I think the government won't muck around. And the second half of this year, I think, will actually show some strong economic growth on the back of the repair spending, which clearly is going to be essential.
Hey, Pete, just finally, when will we start to get an idea of retail spending over the Christmas period and whether that's been up or down, if we don't know that already?
Yeah, well, the last number we got was surprisingly good. That would have been the December number. The January number won't come out until, early Feb. Yeah. And it's going to be very interesting. My first reaction was, well, with bushfires, there a lot of tourism-related retail spending wouldn't happen. But then the people in question who don't get to their holiday destinations effectively come home, and they may well have gone to the supermarket, to the shopping malls, and spent there for something to do. We Australians often, when we've got nothing to do, we go out and spend money in cafes and restaurants and things like that. So my first reaction was it would be bad for retail. It may well flip around and people may well spend a lot of money at the sales. So it's going to be intriguing to see what happens there.
Well, I can tell you I did my bit for the economy, and it came in the form of everything Frozen themed.
Ah, yes, gotcha. You want to pick that up there? Yeah. Frozen 2.
Please explain.
Frozen 2. Frozen 2, young child.
Cartoon.
Oh, God. Okay.
Monopoly. Yes. Should have bought shares in it.
Yeah, should.
Thanks, Pete.
Disney's a really good investment when you've got a young child.
Yeah, it certainly is. Pete, thank you. We'll see you Friday.